Welcome. In this video, Chapter 4 of Arknights will be summarized. Throughout the video, there will be spoilers for the story of Arknights. If you don't want to be spoiled, please go and play the game. Back on the RI landship, RI arrives after their confrontation with Misa/Skullshatterer. Cal checks the rings on Amiya's fingers and feels relieved to see that there's no cracks or discolorations, but tells Amiya to be more careful next time. Amiya goes to rest, and Cal scolds the doctor for putting Amiya in danger, then telling the doctor to go stay with Amiya to not mess up. The doctor goes to Amiya's room and asks if Amiya is worried. Amiya is, but she doesn't understand why she must watch people disappear before her eyes, even though they can't be saved. The doctor leaves as Amiya wants some time alone. The next morning, Cal tells Amiya and the doctor that she has an urgent mission. An abandoned city was found near Lungmen, most likely one from Chernobog, and that RI is to explore the city, search for info and survivors, and that there may be ramifications if Reunion is hiding there. Franca has also submitted a report that she returned to Blacksteel, as well as Penguin Logistics requesting to meet the doctor in the slums to discuss some info. The doctor and Amiya turn to leave, but are stopped by Cal wanting to talk to the doctor. Amiya asks if she can listen in, but is denied twice by Cal before she leaves. Amiya tells Cal not to bully the doctor. When Amiya leaves, Cal immediately starts ripping into the doctor, telling them that they couldn't even do something so basic and not to let the pressure break Amiya. The doctor asks about Amiya's rings, with Cal only explaining that they have something to do with her health, and that they must be checked if Amiya is ever involved in an intense battle, and that all changes must be reported to her. The doctor leaves and meets with Liskarm, who's waiting for them. Elsewhere, Meteorite, Jessica, and Frostleaf reach the location they were traveling to and report their findings. Frostleaf is worried about Amiya's group, but Meteorite reassures her that they returned to RI safely. They continue their mission, with their next task being the continued scouting of the city, searching for survivors, and to retreat if Reunion is involved. In another part of the abandoned city, the doctor and Amiya meet up with members of Penguin Logistics and Blacksteel. Amiya and the doctor see Texas, Exu, Franca, and Liskarm off, hoping to see them again soon. Amiya tells the doctor that she'll have to go to the slums again, but she'll be fine as Project Red will be accompanying her. Back with Meteorite's group, she, Jessica, and Frostleaf have encountered Reunion members and a skirmish broke out. Frostleaf contacted Cal to say that Reunion is still operating in the abandoned city. The three finish the battle, with Meteorite being handed the phone to Cal. Cal explains that Project Red said there's no signs of activity from Reunion in Lungmen, and that there's a large Reunion presence in the desert. Meteorite calls out to Frostleaf to see how she's doing and gets no response. Hanging up the call, Meteorite and Jessica rush over to where Frostleaf is, noticing the air is cooler and that the building nearby is noticeably cooler as well. Frostleaf mentions an urban legend about an infected called the Yeti, and the three continue on. Over in the slums of Lungmen, Amiya helps a child take home a record player so that he can fix it one day and play mini records. Amiya gives the child some food and the child heads home. Amiya hears a voice in the distance and sees Chen standing with a child. Amiya asks what Chen is doing there, but isn't told by her. Chen clutches a small teddy bear. The doctor returns to RI and is yet again scolded by Cal, this time for letting Amiya go to the slums alone. Cal also reminds the doctor to take better precautions so they stay safe, and that since Amiya has missions elsewhere, they'll have to face her again. And if Cal were the doctor, they'd tell Amiya the things they couldn't do before. Later, Amiya meets up with the doctor. Amiya tells the doctor what happened with Chen and how she has a different way of looking at things, and maybe the gap between them isn't as big as she expected. The doctor tries to comfort Amiya, but she tells him there's no need as she is aware of her consequences, but still asks the doctor to stay by her side despite what's going on and was going to happen. Amiya gets a call from Cal that the situation has changed for the worse. Amiya and the doctor rush to the recon teams. Meteorite, Jessica, and Frostleaf watch as three Reunion soldiers walk by and the temperature drops. They do nothing but watch them, and when they leave, the temperature rises. The Reunion members are most likely some of the Yetis from the legend. Frostleaf finds a chunk of black originum lodged in a corner, and what was most likely where the cold was coming from. Frostleaf explains that when she was a mercenary, a rumor she heard was that there was, in the northeast, a guerrilla offensive against Ursus, and among the infected was a towering monster. Nothing could hold off his advance, and everywhere the monster went, the area would become a barren tundra. Within the monster's squad was a member that was like the chill of winter herself. The land froze beneath her feet, turning buildings into grains of snow. That's where the Yeti squadron comes from. Emiya and Chen meet up again, with Emiya telling Chen that her scouts brought back some info that may interest them. There are several Reunion hideouts in the residential district of Lungmen. A number of Reunion squads are planning to attack Lungmen's defenses, and they found the infiltration unit that Reunion has been using. Chen laughs at Reunion's attempts and asks about the abandoned city. Emiya says that they have found some Reunion members there, but they are unable to link the movements there to Reunion movements as a whole, but it may be important in the future. Emiya suggests another joint op to eliminate Reunion. Chen turns it down immediately as it will only cause more disorder. Emiya gets a call from Jessica, who says she's found two of Reunion's leaders in the city ruins. Mephisto and W are the two leaders in question, with them both arguing. They decide to put aside their differences and see if they've taken the bait. W teases Mephisto about being scared of some old-timer. Mephisto knows that RI is there, with Jessica attacking him with an explosive. Mephisto sicks his soldiers on them. The three manage to defeat all the Reunion members, but suddenly dust falls from the sky and heals the Reunion soldiers. Frostleaf notices that Mephisto's staff is glowing, most likely healing the soldiers. Meteorite aims to kill Mephisto, but is told to stop by Frostleaf and instead hit a nearby building. Frostleaf tells Jessica to start running. Jessica asks why. The Yetis are coming. Frostleaf calls Emiya and tells her not to come. Calls keep getting cut off left and right. Cal says she's been listening in from the bridge and tells Emiya to ask Chen how long does Lungmen intend on playing dumb. Chen, Emiya, and Hoshi all gear up to rescue the RI members stuck in the abandoned city. Chen ends up helping RI, but their main objective is to eliminate Reunion. It's enough for Emiya. Cal tells Emiya that she needs to rescue Meteorite Squad as they're too far into the city. The team leaves to rescue the three. The joint task force reach the abandoned city and immediately start saying how depressing it is. Chen believes that the city has become a Reunion stronghold that will cause problems for Lungmen. The city has been able to move this far only during the catastrophe, with the subsection being destroyed when it reached its current location. Chen hears Tallulah's voice and goes off running towards a silhouette of her. Before they're able to chase, Reunion soldiers stop them, along with explosive Originum slugs. The task force starts to fight again. After the battle, Hoshi begins to follow Chen. Emiya says to leave it to her, as if they go any further, they may become infected, unlike the RI members. Hoshi asks Emiya to bring Chen back safe. Back on the RI landship, Cal inspects a wounded op, seeing that they have rubor, hypothermia, necrosis, and are completely frostbitten, all injuries that have to do with the cold. Emiya comes across the location where Meteorite Squad fought Reunion. Frozen blood in the wounds and the body parts remaining intact, and the ruins caused by an explosive, the works of Frostleaf and Meteorite. Cal tells Emiya that all rescue squads have returned to RI, with all recon squads being extracted except for Meteorites, and that everyone has suffered frostbite to varying degrees. The soldiers they encountered fought differently than normal Reunion. While on call, Emiya and the doctor become surrounded by dogs, and the two begin to fight their way to Meteorite. Cal calls Project Red to meet with her at the slums' east entrance, as only them will be able to fight against Reunion. After the fight, Emiya and the doctor find Chen, surrounded by dead Reunion soldiers. Chen wakes from her frenzy and shakes off Emiya's question about Tallulah, as this isn't the place where she would be found. Chen merges her squad with Emiya's to continue on, as they alone won't be able to handle the amount of Reunion soldiers. Emiya offers an escort for Chen back to her group, but is declined. The doctor and Emiya continue on to find Meteorite Squad. Emiya and the doctor get close to the coordinates Frostleaf left. As they get closer, they smell something burning and fall into a sneak attack. They attack a Reunion caster launch misses, while he and his friend being silently killed by an unknown person. Frostleaf emerges from a nearby building with serious frostbite and tells Emiya that Meteorite and Jessica are still in the main square, but they need to hurry as she doesn't know how long they'll be safe for. Mephisto appears and begins threatening to break their friend's fingers for every minute they stay hidden. Frostleaf says to Emiya that he's bluffing. Emiya tries to contact Meteorite but is shown by Frostleaf that her communicator is frozen, along with being told by Frostleaf that there's something more terrifying than Mephisto roaming the city. Emiya picks up that it's Yeti Squadron she's talking about and asks where they are. Frostleaf doesn't have time to explain, but knows that they're the ones behind the temperature drop, and leads them to where the other two are. After crossing to the square, they enter a fight. The group reaches where the others are hiding. Meteorite says that it's a trap. Frostleaf tells her that they would still come to get her as she wouldn't give up on them so easily. Amiya asked about Jessica, with it being explained that she's been traumatized by what happened. Amiya does something with her arts to Jessica, bringing her back to consciousness. She gets Jessica to stand up so that she can bring her back to RI, where Franka and Liskarm are waiting for her. Amiya asks Meteorite what Jessica saw, with Meteorite saying that she wouldn't want to know. Mephisto calls out to them, asking where they're hiding. Mephisto then goes on a long ramble about how their time has finally come to take their revenge on Ursus, and tells one of his soldiers to light an effigy on fire. A wasteland of dead bodies and burning reunion symbols litter the abandoned city. Burning flesh can be smelled from all around. Amiya confronts Mephisto, with Mephisto proceeding to taunt her about how the rest will fall in line with their terror attacks. Amiya prepares to face reality and goes to fight against Mephisto and his thugs. Mephisto is able to run away before anyone can lay their hands on him. Frostleaf gets close but is frozen in place. The Yeti Squadron approaches. Mephisto introduces the leader of Yeti Squadron, taunting the RI group. Frost Nova appears, freezing everything around her. The RI group attempts to escape, but they can't. Frost Nova begins to approach, promising a painless death. Amiya and the Doctor lead their squads to free Frostleaf from being frozen by Frost Nova. Amiya uses her black arts against the Yeti soldiers, making them believe that their body is on fire or that they're freezing. Frost Nova commends Amiya's arts, but then uses her own by singing. Her black eye spreads further. RI fights back to free Frostleaf. RI manages to push the Yeti Squadron back, but this doesn't stop Frost Nova from continuing to use her arts to freeze the RI members. Frostleaf interrupts her chants by using her own arts against Frost Nova. Meteorite fires her explosive rounds at Frost Nova in an attempt to get closer to Frostleaf. She continues firing to get an opening from Yeti Squadron, and is eventually hit herself. The hit is minor, and Meteorite continues her attack. Amiya attacks an Iridium crystal nearby, stopping some of the cold that Frost Nova is creating. Meteorite rescues Frostleaf and brings her back to the rest of the group. Frostleaf thanks Meteorite for saving her, even if she's treated her like a kid. Rhodes Island escapes from Yeti Squadron successfully. A huge figure appears after watching Frost Nova for a few minutes, and gives praise to the RI operators. The large figure tells Frost Nova that she's not in good condition, and to be more careful. Frost Nova knows this and calls him old-timer. When escaping, the RI group runs into Chen. Chen tells them that Reunion took over one of the LGD's important facilities and is trying to make a passage between the slums and the outer city. Lungman is now in danger. Elsewhere, Mephisto reports to Tallulah that Faust and Crownslayer have breached the defenses of Lungman in one location, giving them an opening to flood Lungman. He plans to set up ambushes on every corner, and that the old flag waver will be back from the abandoned city soon. Tallulah says that the time is upon them to turn Lungman into ashes. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter for updates, and check out my other Azure Lane and Arknights videos as well. Please also catch my streams, as I've been streaming a bit more lately.